Hello everyone, you're on VM24.com channel and today we will be disassembling POCO X4 Pro 5G. First we need to remove the SIM card tray. To do this we use the special eject tool, insert it into the hole and push out the card tray. After that we need to heat the surface of the back cover to about 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. We use a heating pad for this, but you can also use a hair dryer. And after 5 to 10 minutes we can start separating the back cover. For this we use a thin plastic film, insert it into the gap between the back cover and the mid frame and carefully slide it along the edge, cutting through the adhesive layer. As always, you need to be especially careful around the camera area, since the cover there is glued down more firmly. And take care not to accidentally touch or damage the lenses. We carefully go around the edge. As we can see, this cover has already been opened by someone before. And we lift off the cover, there is nothing attached to the back cover itself. Next we can cover the camera lenses. For this we use a protective film. Place the film over the lenses so that dust doesn't get on them. Make sure to apply the protective film around the rim on the camera, not directly onto the lenses themselves. Now we move on to removing the screws. For this we use a 1.5mm Phillips screwdriver or Phillips #30. By the way, one of the screws has a warranty sticker. The phone hasn't been fully disassembled before, but the cover has definitely been opened. The screws appear to be identical, but it is better to place them on a special surface in a set order just in case for assembly. Sometimes screws don't fit properly into the wrong holes. After removing the screws, we need to detach the mid-frame. We use a thin plastic film again. First we find the right spot where we can insert the film into the gap between the mid-frame and the display frame. The easiest place to start is near the SIM tray slot, then carefully slide the film along the edge to release a few clips. And after that, we can also switch to a thicker tool. We work our way around the edges with the tool, be very careful at the corners as the frame holds firmly there. Also take care around the display edges to avoid damaging them. Now we can carefully try to detach the mid-frame. Gently rock and lift it. The mid-frame is connected to the motherboard by the fingerprint scanner flex cable, so carefully lift the frame and disconnect the connector using a non-metal tool. Please note that the cable is also taped to the battery, so we first disconnect the battery connectors and only then carefully peel off the fingerprint scanner cable. And now we can remove the mid-frame completely. On it, we will find the antenna contact pads and the fingerprint scanner. Next, we move on to the subboard. On the subboard, we need to disconnect the connectors, coaxial cable connectors, the cables themselves mounted on the subboard, and the interboard flex cable connector. Then we need to remove one screw that secures the loudspeaker. When screw it and set it aside, the screw looks the same as the previous ones. Now we need to find the right spot to detach the loudspeaker cover. Carefully lift it and remove the cover with the loudspeaker. Now we can remove the subboard. Lift it gently by the edge and take it out. It sits slightly recessed. The subboard contains the charging port, microphone and the SIM card connector on the back side. The vibration motor remains in the display frame and the display flex cable is located in this area. Here comes our usual quick test of the microphone opening. The microphone hole is in the display frame, L-shaped and tightly protected with a mesh. The microphone component itself is located on the subboard on the back side. If you insert something into the microphone hole, you won't damage the microphone itself, but you will definitely damage the mesh. Now we move to the motherboard. First we can disconnect the cameras. The cameras may be slightly glued down, so be careful when disconnecting to avoid damaging the flex cables. We disconnect the cameras and set them aside. If a camera doesn't come off easily, carefully pry it from the base. Next, disconnect the connectors. Two coaxial cables on the motherboard, the interboard flex cable connector and the display flex connector. Now we can disconnect the front camera. The front camera, as usual, is additionally attached to the shield on the motherboard with a foil. We carefully disconnect it and try to peel off the copper heat dissipating foil so we can reuse it for reassembling. After that, it is also a good idea to cover the camera lens to prevent dust or debris from getting on it. Next, we remove the motherboard itself. The motherboard is held by clips. We find the right spot where we can carefully lift and detach it. We look for the side where it is easier to pry it up. Don't use force to avoid damaging anything. As we can see, it is easier to lift the motherboard from the top side. By the way, the motherboard may also be held by thermal paste on the underside. As for the microphone opening at the top, the situation is the same as before. The hole is L-shaped and protected with a mesh. The microphone is located on the back of the motherboard. Inserting something into the hole won't damage the microphone, but the mesh will definitely get damaged. And finally, we move on to the battery removal. As usual with POCO, there are two brown pull tabs. Carefully fold them aside. Then we must read the instructions carefully on the tabs. So one tab is meant to be pulled, the other folded away. So the tab in the middle should be folded aside and the tab and the edges should be pulled up to release the battery. Okay, under the battery there is a transparent adhesive protective layer that shields the interboard flex cables. And that is it for the disassembly. Thank you for watching and see you in our new videos or on our Telegram channel or on our website. Okay guys, now we're done. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, read our articles on our website. Take care of yourself and until next video.